sophomore free safety from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Francis Monk Bonasorte. Number 24, senior cornerback from Waukegan, Illinois, Mike Kincaid. Number 78, the offensive captain, a tackle from Albany, Georgia, Nate Henderson. And the head coach of the Seminoles is Bobby Bowden. So there are the starting defenses for Navy and Florida State. The opening coin toss is going on right now. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. The opening kickoff, so it will be the Florida State offense behind quarterback Wally Woodham, which will get the football first. Navy will be kicking off, and the Navy defense will be on the line. It's a defense which was so exceptional through the first 7 games in the season, climaxing with that outstanding performance in which they held Pittsburgh, pretty good running football team, to minus 28 yards rushing. But then Notre Dame bent and broke the Navy defense in that 27-7 victory in Cleveland. And Coach George Welsh worries at this point in the season, Steve Davis, that his team may be getting a little bit tired with the academic grind taking its toll along with the football season.
Well, the football season is a very long campaign, Jim. It takes a lot out of you. And really, Navy, the type of football team that they are, and because they are a service academy, they really don't get time to rest. Those guys are up every morning at 6:30, and it's an amazing feat that they can, week after week, get ready for the big game.
Deep to receive for Florida State. That is number 27, Michael Whiting, a reserve running back. He is at the right of your screen, the middle deep man for FSU. The kicker is number 10, Bob Tata, a senior kicker from Virginia Beach. And Tata, who's only 5 feet 8 inches tall, gets the kick to number 48, Mark Lyles. Lyles, the fullback, met and stopped at about the 20-yard line, 11-yard return, and Florida State will begin the offense from right there at the 20. Now here is a look at the faces of the wide receivers and the offensive backs for Florida State. The first man you saw was Kurt Unglaub, a wide receiver. There's Sam Platt, the deep threat of whom we've spoken. Sam Childers, a freshman, starting at tight end in place of the injured Grady King. Lyles, the fullback from Buffalo, New York, a big man at 226. Holmes Johnson, a sophomore tailback. We'll tell you about him later. And another look at Wally Woodham, the quarterback. Woodham up under center. The give is to Holmes Johnson. And Johnson, going against that tough Navy rushing defense, is met and dropped for about a half-yard loss. A.B. Miller, number 78, the nose guard for Navy, was there to make the stop. There's a look at the offensive line of Florida State. The strongest blocker along that line is Ken Lanier, the quick side tackle. He is the man they will go behind in short yardage situations. There's the Navy defensive line. Merrill, a tackle, is the key to the play along that defensive line for the midshipmen. Draw play, give to Johnson. This time he's got 4 or 5 yards, fighting out across the 25 near the 26. It will be a third down situation from there. As Florida State comes out running, Johnson picks up 6 yards on second down. There are the linebackers for Navy, Puck and Migas. Today, Migas is hurt. Starting in his place, Ted Dumbald, number 69, a sophomore from Troy, Ohio. And the defensive backs, the interesting man there, number 66, Charlie Myers, a former nose guard, moved to cornerback after some injuries in the secondary early in the season. 3rd and 5, Woodham looking for receivers in the flat, overthrows. He was looking for Holmes Johnson. Johnson cut inside. Woodham threw outside. The Navy defense gave them nothing on 3rd down.
That's the best pass defense against Florida State. Put the pressure on the quarterback, force him out of the pocket, make him throw the football on the run. They do not like to throw on the run.
The punter for Florida State is number 3, Ron Stark, and deep to receive is number 89, Sandy Jones. He replaces McConkey as the punt returner for Navy. There's a look at Ron Stark, freshman punter from 50 Lakes, Minnesota, averaging just under 40 yards a kick. The left-footed kick, high, spiraling at the 31-yard line, Sandy Jones, and he is wrapped up as he gets to about the 35. Jarvis Coursey at defensive end, downfield to make the stop. He's number 64. Here are the faces of the the Navy wide receivers and offensive backs. That's Papa John, who starts at split end in place of McConkey. Sandy Jones, the other wide receiver. Carl Hendershot, the tight end, starting in place of Kurt Gaynor, who has a hip pointer today. Tolbert, the fullback, starting in place of Klowinski. Sherlock, the tailback, starting in place of Callahan. And one of the few regulars in there in this triple day for Navy, Bob Lashinsky, the quarterback. This is Sherlock with the football. And he has about 3 around the right side before number 21, Bobby Butler, came up to upend him. It will be 2nd down and 7 for the midshipmen. There's the Navy offensive line, the man they like to run behind. Bott the right side tackle, or McAllister, the left side guard. McAllister, a transfer from North Carolina, is the strongest of those offensive linemen. Papa John is split to the top of your screen. The tight end Hendershot on the right. The give is to Sherlock. This time he's met and wrapped up. Number 49 is David Hanks, the strong side linebacker from West Palm Beach. A loss of 2 yards. It will be 3rd down and 9. There's the defensive line for Florida State. Willie Jones coming back from a broken wrist. Mindlin getting a start at defensive tackle today. He is the strongest of the Florida State defensive linemen. The linebackers, Hanks and Herring, both good tacklers. And the defensive backs, Florida State's had a lot of injuries back there. Bonasorte, in particular, a former walk-on, has played very well. This time the pitch again to Sherlock, cutting up inside, and on 3rd and 9, Navy played it conservatively. Heath Jones, number 28, the strong safety, made the stop for the Seminoles, and the midshipmen will have a punting situation of their own. The punter is number 90, Art Ohanian. He's averaging 36.6 yards per kick. Deep to receive, number 28, Heath Jones, the safety man who made the tackle on the preceding play. Jones is standing inside his 20. Good kick by Ohanian, backing Jones up. And he almost gets back to the 20. Is wrapped up at about the 19-yard line. A 46-yard punt by Art Ohanian. Number 36, Charlie Zingler, a defensive back, was downfield to make the stop for Navy. And so, with 11:48 left in the first quarter, neither team has scored nor gained a first down. Back at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida, you see the statistics for the season on Wally Woodham, a 57% passer. Kurt Unglaub in the game at wide receiver now to the top of the screen. This time the pitch is to Holmes Johnson. And Johnson, the sophomore tailback from Lake Hamilton, Florida, 187 pounds, only 5 feet 9, is met by Charlie Thornton, the weak side defensive end. Thornton stops him after a gain of 4. It will be 2nd and 6. Steve Davis, Florida State attempting to establish a running game, as we say in football commentary.
Well, they certainly are, and the power structure, the power is starting to work there in the offensive line. They're starting to try to gain the momentum there.
2nd and 7. Draw play. Johnson again. Navy defense reacts quickly, and again it was 84 Charlie Thornton who made the stop. This time the pickup about 3. They need to get the ball to the 29 for a first down, and they're actually only a yard and a half short, so it was a pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd and a yard and a half. This program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Now let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Third down, just over a yard for Florida State. Sam Platt in the ball game, split to the bottom of your screen. Woodham gives to number 48, Lyles, the fullback, and Lyles appears to have first down yardage as he pounds it out near the 30-yard line. First carry for Lyles, first down of the ball game for Florida State.
Jimmy, one thing about most passing teams, usually they throw the ball extremely well, but have a kind of a crippled running attack. Florida State's not like that. They have a very complimenting running attack with Lyles and Holmes Johnson in the backfield.
Number 29, Platt, goes to the top of the screen. Williams, 87, a freshman, or a sophomore, I should say, to the bottom of the screen. Now Woodham completes it to Phil Williams, and Williams is out to midfield. Quick pass, looking in over the middle, pickup of 20 yards, another first down for the Seminoles.
Williams has only caught 5 passes on the season. Wally Woodham drops straight back. It's their quick game, quick look in, right across the middle behind the linebacker, and hits Phil Williams, number 87, across the middle. It's called the quick game, 3 steps, on time, throw the ball.
Charlie Myers, the former nose guard playing at cornerback for Navy, number 66, was the man who was covering Williams and made the stop. This is Lyles on first down. He has a pickup of about 4 down to the Navy 46. Florida State running game will feature Lyles on quick traps and quick pops around the middle. Holmes Johnson, they try to get to the outside with the pitch and the sweep.
They do not run the option play.
They don't want to jeopardize the legs of their quarterbacks, Woodham and Jordan. Both are passing types. Sam Platt to the top of your screen. The give is to Holmes Johnson, and this time he is met at the line of scrimmage and can pick up only about 2 yards. Middle of the Navy defense led by Merrill, the big 250-pound defensive tackle from Port Charlotte, Florida. A man who got away from that man, Bobby Bowden, came to Florida State after some lean years here in Tallahassee. 5-6 in his first year, 1976, and then 10-2 a year ago. Third down, 4 yards to go. They need to get to about the 40.5-yard line for a first down. Woodham under pressure. Completes it to Lyles, or check it to Sam Childers, the tight end. And Childers, the freshman tight end from Tallahassee Leon High School, falls down short of the first down.
Wally Woodham,
the 3.5.
Woodham dropped straight back. Navy was in a zone. Immediately, right before the snap, goes to man coverage. Childers is out by himself. His defender fell down. Number 34 Boblet fell down on the play. But Navy did something that most teams can't do. They start out in zone, immediately go to man.
They came up a yard short of the first down as Childers fell down short of that marker. Now Ron Stark is on to punt once again. And deep to receive for Navy is Sandy Jones. Bouncing at the 12, downed at the 13-yard line. Nate Henderson, number 78, the offensive tackle who is the offensive captain of the Seminoles, was the man who was there to down the ball. But a good chip shot punt by Stark. Only 29 yards, but it did the job effectively. And Navy is pinned back at their 13. Now there's timeout on the field. And with 7 minutes, 41 seconds to go in the first quarter, Navy getting ready to begin their second possession. We'll be back. There are the statistics on Bob Lashinsky for this season. A steady operator at quarterback for Navy. Right now in bad field position between the 13 and 14-yard lines. Running backs are Tolbert and Sherlock. Sherlock with the pitch. Ron Simmons, the nose guard, with the big play for Florida State. Loss of 4.
Ron Simmons can do this because watch him to the left of the screen, number 50 on the pitch sweep. He runs the 40 in 4.5. Ron Simmons is 236 pounds, and he's all over that pitch sweep.
Second down, 14 yards to go now for the midshipmen. Sandy Jones to the top of your screen. 2 tight ends in the ball game. Option pitch is to Tolbert, and he is met and dropped. Number 42, coming up to make the stop, is the free safety Francis Bonasorte, former walk-on from Pittsburgh, who played the best game of his life against the Pitt Panthers in his hometown. So now, third down 10. Based on Navy's offensive operation so far, you would not expect them to throw the ball, even in the passing situation. They'll probably just try to get some yardage on the ground to give their punter a little room. Papa John is to the top of your screen. Lashinsky is going to throw. Looking for Papa John, overthrows him. The big 6'4" freshman went up, but could not get the football. He was being covered by Bobby Butler. Number 21, a sophomore cornerback from Delray Beach, who is an outstanding player. So, Navy is now 0 for 2 on third downs. Art Ohanian will come on to punt once again. He hit the first one 46 yards.
Jimmy, one thing that's interesting, field position. Florida State's been able to gain yardage after possession, and now they're going to get great position here on this punt.
Ohanian kicks. Keith Milo is standing at his 45-yard line. He comes up to take the punt in Navy territory. Is dumped immediately at the Navy 47-yard line, but just as Steve Davis said, excellent field position for the Seminoles. Frank McAllister, number 71, was downfield to make the stop. It was a 33-yard punt for Ohanian. Platt and Unglaub are in the ball game as the wide receivers. Platt is to the top of your screen, Unglaub to the bottom. Setbacks remain Lyles and Johnson. Woodham throwing for the tight end, Childers. Childers was bumped a bit on the far side. No flag went down.
Jimmy, and a point that must be continually made, the best way to defensive passing football team is make the quarterback, Wally Woodham. He's dropping 10 yards back, but that time Alvin Miller, the nose guard, was all over him, pressuring, making him throw off key, off tempo. It's tough on a passing quarterback.
You heard Greg Milo say before the ball game that Navy's objective would be to mix up their defenses and their coverages in such a way that Florida State would not be able to anticipate what was coming. 2nd and 10. The give is to Lyles, the fullback. A flag is down as Lyles is met immediately. Alvin Miller, the nose guard, once again was there to make the stop. He's a senior from Little Rock, Arkansas. And there you see that the indication is against Florida State.
Had someone jump off sides, Jimmy, just a little bit quick on the snap. A little too anxious.
We have a split crew today of officials, some from the Southeast, some from the ECAC. That is the referee, W.T. Miller from Jonesboro, Tennessee. The umpire is Ernest Coano. The linesman, Hunter Jackson. The line judge, George Abdo. The field judge, Jack Workowitz. And the back judge, Joe Reichbaum. And Florida State now faces a 3rd down 12 situation. Navy with 5 defensive backs in the ball game. Ball still inside Navy territory at the 48. Fake draw play. Statue. The give is to Platt. He was almost dumped by number 73, Steve Chambers, and finally Charlie Thornton wrapped him up, and that is a big loss. Back inside the Florida State 40 to the 38. 14 yards is the loss. Play was slow developing, Steve Davis.
Slow developing, but it shows the intelligence of Navy defense to be able to stay, do what they're supposed to do. There's the Platt will get the ball. We missed the initial hit by Chambers, number 73, but finally Charlie Thornton's there to make the stop.
So Ron Stark will go deep to punt again for Florida State. His 3rd punt of the ball game. Sandy Jones is deep to receive for Navy. The rush was on, but Stark got a very high punt away. Jones calling for a fair catch, and he makes it at his 23-yard line. Downfield, or check it, A.B. Miller, number 78, the great nose guard for Navy, put pressure all over Stark and almost blocked the punt, but it was a 49-yard kick for the freshman punter from 50 Lakes, Minnesota, who is a decathlete. Has competed in the decathlon for quite some time up in Minnesota. It's still 0-0 first quarter, 5:46 remaining. We'll be back. There's the man regarded by his staff and by other coaches in the game as a master play caller, capable of slicing a defense up. And he will call the Navy offensive plays by alternating tackles. Laczynski passing on 1st down. Has an open receiver. That is number 85, Matt McLaughlin. And McLaughlin is dropped inside the Florida State 20 by Bobby Butler, the cornerback from Delray Beach, who reacted back downfield to avert disaster. But the pickup on the play is...
It's just a play-action pass, 1st down right across the middle, hits the tight end across the middle behind everybody, and it's a foot race. No one really caught him as he came off the line of scrimmage.
From the 23 to the 19, a 58-yard gain on the play. 1st down for Navy. Option pitch. Sherlock. Dropped as he gets to the 17-yard line. Pickup of 2. It will be 2nd and 8. And again, we look at the big pass to McLaughlin.
He just drops straight back. He's going right across the middle, splitting the seam. He gets behind the defensive back, number 28, Keith Jones, and then it's just a foot race. Everybody take that 1st down play, not the tendency of the conservative Navy football team.
Papa John to the top of the screen. 2nd down. Laczynski wants to throw. Has Sandy Jones. And Jones is hit immediately down at the 5. Bonasorte was there along with Reggie Herring. But a tough catch in traffic by Sandy Jones. Another 1st down for Navy. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Laczynski just rolls away, puts pressure on the coverage, hits Sandy Jones underneath. He came from his wingback position, and just really those middle-range passes right now. Navy's having success putting the pressure on Florida State.
Six defensive linemen now in the game for FSU as they bunch up, expecting the running attack in close. Fumbles football. And there to make the recovery is Ron Simmons, the sophomore nose guard who is the key to the Florida State defense. It was Colbert who coughed it up on the handoff from Laczynski. So the Seminoles avert a possible Navy score with 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And the midshipmen make their first mistake.
Navy does not make very many mistakes. They've just fumbled a little bit over one time a game, and it's the inside isolation trap handoff, and Ron Simmons is there and punches the ball away from him, and then he recovers his own initial hit, the ball.
It was not a contact fumble. Colbert simply did not control the ball. Now, FSU must try to move it from deep in their territory. Ball is right at the 7. Lyles on first down, breaks the tackle and gets out to the 9. Gain of 2, it will be second down 8. Lyles from Buffalo, New York, 6'4", 226 pounds. A year ago at this time, the Florida State coaches did not think he was running hard enough. They felt he was running too upright, not breaking tackles. This year, he's learned to lean into things a little bit more and is a harder runner. Williams to the top of the screen on second down. Give is to Holmes Johnson, and he's stacked up. The middle of the Navy defense reacting very quickly to the weak side, number 67, Tommy Thompson, a senior from Phoenix, Maryland, temporarily replacing Miller at the nose guard position. The regular backup middle guard, Terry Huxell, is one of the many injured Navy players who did not make the trip today. Third down, 9 yards to go for an FSU first down. Unglaub, the surest-handed Seminole receiver, is to the top of the screen. Woodham throwing from his end zone, trying to hit flat. Charlie Myers with the pickoff. Falls down as he gets inside the 35. So Navy takes it right back, and the midshipmen will have the football first down just inside the Florida State 35. Big play by Charlie Myers.
Wally Woodham is trying to throw the ball to number 29, Sam Platt, across the middle, and he just really underthrows Platt. Myers, number 66, an odd number. He's playing as a cornerback, former nose guard. He's got great speed, and that's his 3rd interception on the season.
A junior from Pemberton, New Jersey, has a brother also at the Naval Academy, also on the football team. Give on first down is to Dwayne Dennis. And Dennis, a junior from Willingboro, New Jersey, who is perhaps the quickest of the running backs that Navy has brought along, has a pickup of about 4.
There again, Wally Woodham dropping back. Platt against Myers, underthrows the ball just underneath him, didn't put enough on it, and Myers, with his great speed, was there to catch the ball.
Second down 6 from just outside the 30. Dennis cuts up inside for good yardage. Down to about the 25. Close to a first down. They need to get the ball just inside the 25 for the first down. Hanks, 49, and Keith Jones, 28, on the tackle for Florida State.
Navy likes the inside isolation play, the inside trap, and the power sweep. On the power sweep, as they ran just then, they pull everybody. The quarterback, Lazinski, even pulls out there and tries to make some blocks.
Third down, less than a yard to go. Setbacks are Dennis and Chris Klein. This is Dennis again. He falls down, short of first down yardage. Had a crushing block out there on the corner, but was unable to capitalize it as he lost his footing in the open field. Now, the man who was standing right next to George Welsh, the Navy head coach, in that shot of Welsh you saw a while ago, was number 10, the kicker, Bob Tata. Tata tells Welsh when he believes he is in range to kick a field goal. Right now, it would be from about 43 yards. And that will be exactly what they try. The tee is set at 43 yards away. Lazinski will hold. Tata, 5'6" and 160. From Virginia Beach, just has enough oomph to get it over the bar. And so Navy jumps on top in the ball game, 3-0, with 48 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The midshipmen capitalizing after the interception by Charlie Myers, getting just enough yardage with the running game to get in range for the 43-yard field goal by Tata. And they take what could be a very important 3-0 lead. Coming up on ABC, top stars from ABC, CBS, and NBC shows in what can only be called a show of zany athletic excitement. The Battle of the Network Stars, 1978. Tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time, over most, if not all, of these ABC stations. And a long list of celebrities will be entertaining you, including Bob Urich from the show Vegas, who in 1964 played football here at Florida State. Burt Reynolds, another former Florida State football player, will not be in there. Michael Whiting deep to receive. Tata kicking off for Navy. That is Whiting at the 4. Good open field tackle by number 49, Greg Milo. 21-yard return for Whiting. Florida State football, first down just outside the 25. 43 seconds left in the first quarter.
Jimmy, one thing we've got to say about that drive about Navy, they're a very patient football team, very disciplined. They had 3 drives, 3 downs and punt. Then they had one they had to fumble, or they did fumble. Then they came back, took the ball, capitalized the mistake, and made the touchdown.
Woodham throwing on first down, complete to Unglaub, and Unglaub has a first down out to the 45-yard line. Number 26, Fred Reitzel, the free safety, a former quarterback from Verona, New Jersey, made the stop, but it's a 20-yard pickup on this pass to Unglaub.
We're on Unglaub. Wally Woodham, it's just a quick game once again across the middle, quick look in behind the linebackers. He's hampered a little bit with a knee injury right now. He's well taped up, gets a good shot there, but hangs on to the football.
Hasn't had the kind of year that he had last year because of that leg injury, but he has great hands. Florida State starting to open up now. Woodham drops way back. Now he's under pressure, and Merrill dumps him back at the 40-yard line. Check it. It's Chambers, not Merrill. 73, Steve Chambers, the sophomore from La Mirada, California. And now it will be second down 14 for Florida State, and time has run out. So that's the end of the first quarter, with Navy leading at 3-0. When we come back, Florida State will have second down at their own 40-yard line. To the field goal that Tata kicked with 48 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Florida State has come out throwing in this series. On first down, the 20-yard completion from Woodham to Unglaub. On second down, Chambers sacking Woodham for a 4-yard loss. Now Platt is to the top of the screen, Unglaub to the bottom on 2nd and 14. From the Florida State 41, Holmes Johnson on the sprint draw, breaks the tackle, gets across midfield into Navy territory. Chuck Zingler made the stop for Navy finally. But it's a pickup of 11 yards for Holmes Johnson, and it will make it 3rd and 4. Woodham getting the call from reserve tight end Bill Keck. So now it will be Keck in the ball game at tight end. Platt and Unglaub are the wideouts. Platt to the bottom of the screen this time. Woodham wants Platt and just misses it. Zingler was the man who was covering. He went to the inside. Woodham got the ball past Zingler, but Platt couldn't hold it with what might have been a touchdown.
They really like to bring their receivers from outside in, Jimmy. They really like to attack the middle in Florida State in their offense. They also like to have wide receivers on both sides, spread that defense out, and let Wally Woodham or Jimmy Jordan, whoever's in quarterback, pick people apart.
Ron Stark will be in to punt it for the Seminoles, and Sandy Jones, number 89, is deep to receive for Navy. This time the Navy rush is not fierce. Jones is going to let it fall inside the 10, and it rolls into the end zone. So it is a 47-yard punt for Stark, and it will be first down for the midshipmen at their 20-yard line. Midshipmen out of the huddle on first down. Lashinsky with Klein and Dennis still in the ball game as setbacks. The man in motion is Papa John, replacing McConkey at wide receiver. Dennis is met by Reggie Herring, number 39, a very sure tackler, the sophomore linebacker from Titusville. You see Herring with the clenched fist there. Statistics in the first quarter. And the difference in time of possession is in favor of Florida State. Navy wanted to keep the ball and control it, but overall it is a Navy advantage with total yardage advantage, and they're even in turnovers.
Everything's, as you said, Jimmy, the turnover factor. What really won the first quarter for Navy was they finally capitalized on the field position problem that they hadn't enjoyed.
Sandy Jones split to the bottom of your screen. Second down, 12 yards to go. And this time, the running back is flying with the football, and he is met and cartwheeled by Simmons, number 50. Willie Jones, 88, was also there. Ron Simmons is making his presence felt early. Recruited out of Warner Robins, Georgia. An all-everything high school player who was wanted by literally hundreds of schools. And from an institutional standpoint, in terms of building the program here, he is probably the most important recruit so far for Bobby Bowden. Bowden came here on January 28, 1976. On third down, long yardage, Lisinski throws the screen. Dennis with the football, and he is blocked. Reggie Herring, number 39, once again making the stop for FSU. And now the Seminoles have a chance to pick up good field position as Navy must once again punt from well inside its 20.
Florida State's showing a little bit of discipline on defense too, Jimmy, because it was a well-executed screenplay, but they were there. Great tackle by Reggie Herring.
The punter is Ohanian, number 90. Keith Jones is the receiver. Jones is going to run it back. Gets past the first man, but now is dumped at the 50-yard line. Frank McAllister, number 71, the offensive guard, again made the stop after the 36-yard punt by Ohanian. Clouds have moved over the stadium, and we're told that the first few tiny droplets of rain have started to fall here in Doak Campbell Stadium. And you would have to believe that rain would favor the more ball control-oriented Navy team. Our score is 3-0 Navy. We've got 12-14 left in the half. Next to the highway that leads into Tallahassee from the airport. Go Noles. And right now, the Noles are getting wet. The rain has started to fall. Holmes Johnson with the football on first down. And he gets just across midfield. Well, actually, they're going to mark it just a little bit back of midfield. Call it no gain, make it second down 10. Bart Nixon, number 88, junior defensive end from Bay City, Michigan, made the stop. Scores of other games, Iowa State jumping on top of Colorado in the first quarter. Bill Mallory, the Colorado coach, supposedly in trouble there. Steve Davis will tell us more about it. Second quarter, Texas A&M and Arkansas all tied up at 7-7 in a game with bowl implications. Woodham completes a Platt. Platt trying to get yardage across the middle. Finally dumped after a gain of about 6. Charlie Thornton, 84, the defensive end, made the stop for Navy. That will bring up third down 4. Massachusetts leading New Hampshire 7-0 early.
Jimmy, as we look at scores, one of the amazing things about Wally Woodham, he drops back on that play particularly. He was back 12 yards throwing the football, really causes the linebackers to drop.
Again, no, this time they faked the reverse. Johnson keeps it, and he may have a first down near or at the 40. Greg Milo, 49, the Roverback, stayed home and made the tackle, along with number 59, Reggie Trask.
Really interesting, Jimmy, that Florida State would try to run that type of play against Navy. They are very disciplined, they're very smart, they stay at home, and they're trying to take advantage of it, but you don't do that against intelligent football teams.
Fourth down, about a half yard to go for the first down. The Seminoles are going to try for it. Packed in tight. Two tight ends, Childers and Williams. Give is to Johnson. He was leaping, he didn't have to. First down for Florida State at the Navy 37-yard line. Holmes Johnson getting a lot of work already. Early in the season, he rushed for 135 yards in the opening game against Syracuse. Then after that, his efficiency began to decline. So far, Johnson has carried 10 times for 33 yards in this ball game. Johnson discovered that he didn't like to talk to reporters, didn't like being a star for a while. And right now, there is a Florida State player down on the field. So as they administer to him with 10 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the half, we will leave you, but we'll be back in a minute. Gary Futch, or Greg Futch, I should say, an offensive tackle for Florida State, has just been brought off the field with an apparent arm injury. It didn't look too serious. He's been replaced by his brother, Gary Futch. And now, on first down, Wally Woodham is looking deep. Got a receiver all alone. It's Unglaub who makes the catch before he is knocked out of bounds inside the Navy 20. Call it the 15-yard line. Another reception for Kurt Unglaub, the junior from Tallahassee Leon High School, the same high school that brought you Woodham and Jordan.
Wally Woodham will make the fake, drop way back, sprint a little bit to his right, then throw back. Unglaub really by himself waiting on the football, ran out of bounds. Great play by Unglaub, and timing pass by Wally Woodham. He can throw that ball.
23-yard gain on the play, tackled by Reitzel, the free safety, who reacted late. That is Mark Lyles with the ball, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage. Florida State not getting much against the middle of the Navy defense.
That was what we tried to talk about a little bit in the pregame show, that how important it would be in the offensive and defensive lines to be able to control it. We've got another injured player on the field now.
Now that is 70, Greg Futch, who has gone back into the football game, but so obviously he was not hurt too badly, and just as you say, a Navy player is down. That is 73, Steve Chambers, defensive tackle who has been in on top of Woodham a couple times already in the ball game.
Let me finish my point. It's very important that, especially the offense, Florida State has been able so far to have some success. Navy is very physical, an exceptionally strong football team, and the war will be decided this afternoon by who wins the battle in that line of scrimmage.
Sound like a football coach, Davis.
Not me. No, I can't do that. I've never been there. I was on a 4-year scholarship, not a 3-year contract.
It's good you couldn't get fired. 5 of 9, 67 yards for Woodham so far. Trying for 6 points. Platt had it in his hands, but dropped it. He was covered under and over, though. Chuck Zingler was the man who was inside of Platt and made it difficult for him to make the catch.
Platt's a 9'8" sprinter, so he's got the speed. Wally Woodham drops back. It's across the middle, trying to really, Wally might have pressed that ball a little bit, tried to force it in there just a little bit, because there were linebackers who were dropping, and they also were getting support from the safeties.
Now it is third down, 9 yards to go. The ball is at the 14. They need to get to the 5. Florida State so far in the ball game, 3 of 7 on third down conversions. Pump fake. Childers, the tight end. Interception. Touchback. It will be Navy football at the 20. Very big play by number 26, Fred Reitzel, the sophomore safety man from Verona, New Jersey, who has been described as the best athlete in that Navy secondary.
Woodham was going for Philip Williams. Reitzel just really takes the ball away from him. Both of them were making a legitimate effort for the ball, but Fred just came up and said, I want the football. Oh, is it Sanders? Childers. Okay, there it is. Let's see who's the thrower. There's the ball in the air, and they're both after it, and he really pulls it away from him. Are you sure, Jimmy?
It was 84, Sam Childers, the tight end, a freshman from here in Tallahassee, who was the intended receiver. Both men, as Steve Davis said, going for the football, and a big play by Reitzel. On first down, Tolbert back in the ball game for Navy at fullback, carries for 4 yards. So it will be second down 6 for the midshipmen. Now they call it a gain of only 3. 2nd and 7 from the 23. Childers made 3 catches last week, replacing Grady King as tight end for Florida State. Hasn't had a catch today. Ron Simmons with another big play from his nose guard position, dumping Chris Klein. We watch it.
Ron Simmons runs a 4.5 40, can bench press 475. He muscles the center and just goes over him. He just shows the power, and he's scary. You know, you get around him, and he is so big physically. His upper body, chest, and really can handle those centers. And I promise you, Kramer's got a mouthful to handle today.
Third down 7 for Navy. Osinski wants to throw. Open man down the middle was 89 Sandy Jones, but 49 David Hanks, the strong side linebacker, reacted very quickly for Florida State, as did that man, the safety man, Keith Jones. They closed the hole up in a hurry. The incompletion brings up a 4th down 7, another punting situation for Ohanian and Navy. Keith Jones goes back to receive the punt for Florida State. He's standing at about his 34. It is still 3-0 Navy. Florida State trying to get the right number of men on the field. And Ohanian hits a bomb. Jones chasing. Ball bounces straight up and now takes a little bit of a Navy roll and will be downed at the 21-yard line. That is a 56-yard punt for Ohanian of Navy. So Florida State will have the football at their 21, trailing 3-0 when we come back. One of the symbols of Florida State football, circling the field on that beautiful horse. And we've had a replacement. Jimmy Jordan now in the ball game, replacing Woodham at quarterback for Florida State. On first down, Lyles with the ball. And the big fullback has a couple from the 21 out to about the 23. We're isolated right now on the nose guard of Navy, A.B. Miller, number 78, and let's look at him.
Alvin Miller, former walk-on, spinning off of Gil Wesley, the center. And that's a good job of the center. He won that battle. All you got to do is hold that nose guard up. Make him kind of get detained with you just a little bit, then let's go.
Jordan wants to throw on second down. He has the stronger arm, and he has Sam Platt open for the moment. Couldn't quite get it there. Platt had a step on number 36, Chuck Zingler. The pass was thrown just a little bit short of the intended target. Platt had to come back. Zingler got back into it, incomplete.
Jimmy Jordan does throw the long ball very well. Sam Platt, the fast, speedy receiver. The ball's there, but so is Chuck Zingler. He was right on. Very good coverage. Good throw.
Third down, 8 yards to go. We look at Platt again. You see him trying to go up over Zingler to make the catch.
Amazing. Both of them, step for step. The ball maybe a little bit behind.
Unglaub to the top of your screen. Platt to the bottom. Jordan dropping well back. Down the middle. Unglaub almost makes the catch, but was unable to hold on as Charlie Myers, who is having a big game at cornerback, was right with Unglaub over the middle. So Jimmy Jordan's first two passes go incomplete. We look at Unglaub again.
Here's Unglaub operating on Myers, number 66. They're step for step, both of them turning inside, anticipating the route by Myers. Very good route. Excellent pass recovery.
I'll tell you that Myers is a heck of an athlete, Steve. You can see him get up into the air while running full speed to make the stop. Ron Stark back to punt it for Florida State. He's been kicking pretty well. This one he hits low. Sandy Jones chasing it. He'll watch it roll. Now he's going to pick it up inside his 20. And great coverage by the Seminoles. Scott McLean, number 60, was the man who gets credit for the tackle, but a 54-yard punt by Stark. Excellent coverage by a host of Seminole tacklers, and Navy will start the offense pinned back at their 16-yard line.
Jimmy, Navy's had 7 possessions. This will be the 7th possession. They've gone something like this. Very routine, very patient football. 3 downs and punt, 3 downs and punt, 4 downs and fumble, 3 downs and field goal, 3 downs and punt, 3 downs and punt. They are very patient. They wait to make the break, get the drive together, and something happens.
Florida State declines a prospective offside penalty against Navy. 5 yards would not have given them a first down, and they want to go ahead and take the great punt by Stark, which has locked Navy back at the 16. So the Middies in jail on offense, where they've been throughout much of the afternoon, thanks to the excellent punting of Stark. Papa John is split to the top of your screen. Lashinsky keeping on the option, trying to cut up inside. And check it. That is not Lashinsky. That is now Bobby Powers, 18, the backup quarterback who's in there replacing Lashinsky. We look at the score from Ann Arbor. Michigan trying to take a step closer to the Rose Bowl, leads Purdue 10-0 in the first quarter. Boston University beating Bucknell. Powers, a 6'3", 204-pound junior from Beaver, Pennsylvania, now has replaced Lashinsky at quarterback. That means more option play running for Navy. The give to number 23, Sherlock. David Hanks, number 49, reacted over to make the stop. And we're just about to see the Colgate score, I can tell, because our producer, Doug Wilson, is popping it to me in my ear. Yes, Colgate leading Delaware 3-0. Wilson and Assetti both, our producer and director, Colgate grads. Arkansas having taken a 10-7 lead over Texas A&M in the second quarter. Now, third down, 3 yards to go for Navy. Dennis and Klein are the running backs. Too much time. Delay of game call against the midshipmen is going to cost him 5 yards, make it 3rd and 8 back inside the 20. And that is a mistake that looks small in tomorrow's papers, but it could be critical right now for George Welsh and the midshipmen.
A lot of reasons why it probably happened. Bobby Powers, the new quarterback, number 18 in the football game. I'm very interested to try to figure out exactly what they're trying to do from Coach Welch's perspective. There's Bobby Powers' statistics. Lashinchi really did not do anything wrong. They just haven't probably moved the ball as well as they wanted to against Florida State. But now Bobby Powers is in there trying to change the tempo. He's a better runner. There's George Welsh.
Show you how efficient and well coached these two teams are. That is the first penalty that has been assessed in this game. We have 5:42 left in the first half.
32, go!
Powers gives to Dwayne Dennis. Florida State defense gives up only about 4 yards on the play. Ohanian will come on again to punt it for Navy. Mark Masek, number 67, big sophomore defensive tackle, made the stop for Florida State. Heath Jones back to receive for Florida State. Ohanian ready to punt. 10th punt of the ball game already, as it has been a kicker's battle so far. Both defenses reacting well to what the offenses are showing them. This time Ohanian hits it a little bit off the side of the foot. Jones makes the fair catch at his 40-yard line. So it is a 37-yard punt, and Florida State will have another offensive thrust with pretty good field position just inside their own 40. 5:02 left in the half. They still trail it. We're back at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, and she is a little bit puzzled by the exposure, but it's first down 10 for Florida State. Platt is to the near side. Unglaub to the top of the screen. Completion from Jordan to Unglaub. Inside Navy territory to the 45. 15-yard pickup on the play.
Here's Unglaub. This is the quick game. The quarterback, Jordan, just drops 3 steps back on timing. It's a timing pass. Cuts right inside of Charlie Myers, 66, before the linebackers or the cornerback can get to the play. Good execution. Timing pass.
Another first down for Florida State. This time Williams to the top of the screen, Platt to the bottom. Intended receiver is number 32, Greg Ramsey, and Ramsey is all the way down to the Navy 11-yard line before Charlie Thornton, the defensive end, knocked him down. First time that Florida State has swung a back out of the backfield deep downfield, and it paid off as Jimmy Jordan was looking at him all the way, caught him for the 34-yard pickup.
Ramsey from the halfback position in the split back formation, as Jordan just lays the beautiful touch that we've seen, just lays it right in the money there. It's tough. A linebacker, usually in a man coverage, has that back out of the backfield. They were in zone that time. Someone had to pick him up.
Jimmy Jordan quickly hops from 0 for 2 to 2 to 4, or 2 for 4. This time the pitch is to Holmes Johnson. He's got a touchdown if he can get outside. He does. It is not Johnson. It is Ramsey, the man who made the catch on the previous play. The junior tailback from Fort Lauderdale puts Florida State on top. So Florida State shows you their explosiveness. Davy Kaplan will try to add the 7th point. He's got it. They got the football with 5:02 left in the half. There is 4:10 still showing on the clock, and the Seminoles took 52 seconds to go out on top 7-3 with a 60-yard drive in 3 plays. The completion from Jordan to Unglaub, the completion from Jordan to Ramsey, and then Ramsey sweeping the right side from 11 yards out for the touchdown. You keep plugging and plugging away against an offense like Florida State, sooner or later they're going to sting you.
That's certainly right, Jimmy. And the change of quarterback, another true picture. Wally Woodham had problems. There's the pitch sweep to Platt. I mean, sorry, I've got it all mixed up. Let me say again. Greg Ramsey made the touchdown. But what I wanted to say is that Sam Platt made the key block on the corner. I saw his number and I said his name.
Big block by Platt. Touchdown, Ramsey. Capice kicking off. 89 is Sandy Jones for Navy at the goal line. Met as he gets across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Run back of 23 yards for Sandy Jones. First down for the midshipmen. Now trailing for the first time in the ballgame, 7-3. Leshinsky back in the game at quarterback for Navy. So Powers was in for only one series. Jones to the top of the screen. Papa John to the bottom. Setbacks are Dennis and Klein. Number 83 is Carl Hendershot, the tight end who started in place of Kurt Gaynor today. And Hendershot has the catch. 12-yard pickup, tackled by Mike Kincaid. First down for the Naval Academy.
Hendershot in his tight end position. He's only caught 2 passes coming today, and he's all alone. A little bit of delay pattern. He leaves, holds a little bit of count there at the line of scrimmage, then goes out in the flat, makes the reception.
Mike Chapman, number 35, now in the game at a wide receiver position. He's to the top of the screen. Papa John is to the bottom. Leshinsky is going to go to Chapman, and he's got him inside Florida State territory. The saving tackle was by number 40, Gary Henry, a freshman safety man. And had he not reacted over to make the stop, Chapman would have had a touchdown.
Very well thrown pass by Leshinsky to Chapman. Chapman, the number 35, really the pressure. Gary Henry was there, but boy, he got behind everybody on the corners. Navy dropping their patient, conservative offense.
30-yard pickup, Leshinsky to Chapman. First down for the midshipmen at the Florida State 34. Same play. That time it was Sandy Jones. There was contact at the 1-yard line. No flag went down. Again, Gary Henry was the man who reacted over on the coverage. That time, he saw it coming a little more quickly than he did the last time. Well, Coach George Welsh says, I'm going to try it again and see if that Florida State safety man's still looking for it.
One of the good things, Bob Leshinsky, the quarterback, is looking away from the coverage and then coming back, pressures the defense.
Papa John to the near side, Chapman to the far side. The give is to Dwayne Dennis, and the quickest of the Navy running backs, who's been in there for each of the last 4 series, gets inside the Florida State 30 to the 29 before Jeremy Mendlin, number 77, made the stop for the Seminoles. Pickup of 5. It will be 3rd down 5. Jeremy Mendlin grew up on 64th Street down in Miami. I used to kick him out of the touch football games we had in that neighborhood. He now weighs 247 pounds, and it was a mistake.
He would be using you for a football, kicking you over the goal line.
Papa John is split to the bottom of your screen. He is the man Leshinsky's looking for, but now Leshinsky gets away from Mendlin and dumps it across the middle. Incomplete, intended for Sandy Jones. Jeremy Mendlin had the chance to dump Leshinsky well back outside the 40-yard line and just missed it. Now it's 4th down 5. Bob Tata is on to attempt a 46-yard field goal. Leshinsky is down to hold. The kick is good. So Tata adds his 2nd field goal of the day after the long completion from Leshinsky to Chapman, which set it up. And Navy gets back within a point at 7-6. We still have 2 minutes, 28 seconds remaining before the half, and both teams have opened up considerably on offense.
They really have. They've gotten a little frustrated with the battle that's going on in the offensive and defensive lines, and have gone to the air and have found some interesting things in the secondary, and both teams are trying to pick at each other, and they're having some success.
It will be number 27, Michael Whiting, who will go deep for Florida State. There is Bob Tata, who just knocked through the 46-yard field goal. Now, number 91, Roland Ellis, has come on, and he will kick it off for Navy. Ellis is a senior from Baldwinsville, New York. It would be that Tata used every ounce of energy in that leg to get the 46-yarder through there. Whiting with a low kick. is dropped as he gets to about the 25-yard line. Number 41 is Randy Lay, a reserve linebacker downfield to make the tackle. 23-yard run back for Whiting. FSU ball just inside their own 25, and it will still be Jimmy Jordan at the controls. Coach Bobby Bowden says that once he knows what a defense is doing and feels he can call the plays with some certainty, that Jimmy Jordan is the man he likes to have in there. He calls him the fastball pitcher. Woodham is a little bit better responding to a defense. Greg Ramsey with another big play coming out of the backfield all the way up to the 39-yard line. 15-yard pickup for Ramsey. Another first down for the Seminoles. Ted Dumbald, number 69, a sophomore linebacker from Troy, Ohio, made the stop. As you look at Bobby Bowden along the sidelines, a man who has the great luxury of having two excellent quarterbacks, Wally Woodham and Jimmy Jordan, both with another year of eligibility here at Florida State. This time Ramsey is wrapped up. And Charlie Thornton, number 84, who's made a lot of big plays for Navy, was there to tackle him. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Jimmy, you were talking about Bobby Bowden having the exclusive privilege of having two fine quarterbacks that are just juniors. One interesting thing that we've got to say, they only have 5 seniors on Florida State's roster right now. He's going to have a lot of people coming back.
Only 3 of them starters, so 19 of their 22 starters will be back. Jordan is looking over the middle to Unglau. Overthrows it. Now it will be 3rd down 10. Charlie Myers had the tight coverage on Kurt Unglau. Coming up next on NCAA College Football Live at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock Eastern Time, Southern Cal versus UCLA. That, of course, immediately following this telecast, the showdown for the Pac-10 title. The winner of that ball game will go to the Rose Bowl. UCLA, surprisingly upset by Oregon State a week ago. Southern Cal, 5th ranked in the nation. 3rd down 10, Jordan throwing for Platt. Big catch. Platt goes out of bounds at the Navy 32-yard line, but not before making a superb over-the-shoulder catch. "30-yard pickup on the play." Remember that in college football, you need to get only 1 foot down inbounds in order for the pass to be complete.
There's Jimmy Jordan going to Sam Platt, the speeder on the out. It's kind of a deep post pattern. Whoa. We'll see that again, and we'll see what we might have a foot out of bounds. Let's see if he's got anything in.
I think he got the right foot down.
Nope.
He didn't. But it was a close call, and it goes down as a Florida State completion, and now Jordan throws it over the head of Ernie Sims, the reserve sophomore fullback, to make it 2nd down 10.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Could be the official was just as dazzled by Platt's catch as we were.
I think it was the motion of his hands. Probably the referee, or I'm not going to speculate, but I got tied up looking at his hands rather than his feet. His hands were up, the ball wasn't there, and his feet were out of bounds when he had the ball. It was a great catch, just out of bounds.
There are the statistics on Jimmy Jordan. He's looking for Platt again. Good coverage down there by Zingler, number 36. He was the cornerback who had Platt from the outside. And the safety man, Reitzel, 26, also reacted over to help out. There's Bobby Bowden along the sidelines. Fred Reitzel, the free safety for Navy, has been getting close to a lot of big plays back there in the Navy secondary. Jordan is going to want to try to influence him off the ball if he wants to throw deep down the middle. Sack. Number 84, Charlie Thornton, was the first man to get there, and number 76, John Merrill, followed him. And Jordan never had a chance. The sack took them out of field goal range. It was a 13-yard loss.
The best way to stop the pass, put the pressure on him. He drops back so far. He's got his back to the defensive line. And by the time he stood up at 12 yards and started looking downfield, he had Mr. Thornton and Mr. Merrill in his face.
Ball is back at the 45. Ron Stark comes on to punt for Florida State. Sandy Jones is standing at about his 11-yard line for Navy. Stark's punt bounces into the end zone. Touchback, it will be Navy football at the 20 with precisely 20 seconds left in the half. So credit Stark with a 45-yard punt in what continues as an excellent kicking day for him. Florida State has a 7-6 lead. 2 Navy field goals by Bob Tata. An 11-yard touchdown run by Greg Ramsey of the Seminoles. Those are the only scores in the ball game. And the difference in the score, Davy Kaplan's extra point. Leshinsky keeps the ball on first down. Dragged down from behind by Masek. The clock will continue to run with 12, 11, 10. That may be the last play of the first half. And that's it. We go to halftime with Florida State leading Navy 7-6. We'll be back with halftime festivities after this word about an upcoming program. Florida State will be kicking the ball off to start the second half. Navy will be getting it very quickly. Some scores of other games. Up in Atlanta, Georgia, Notre Dame has jumped on top of Georgia Tech in the first quarter, 3-0. Notre Dame 10th ranked. Army and Pitt tied up in the first quarter, 7-7. Navy must still play Army. Boston College leading Syracuse 7-0 in the first quarter. The Orangemen, who had the big win over Navy a week ago. Holy Cross beating Rutgers 7-3, second quarter. Colgate trailing Delaware in the first quarter. The Dartmouth-Princeton game is the game for the Ivy League championship. Dartmouth leads at 28-14 at the half. Michigan taking a big step toward the Rose Bowl and certainly toward their big battle with Ohio State next week, leading Purdue 17-0. Capice hits the kick for Florida State. Dwayne Dennis, number 48, bringing it back for Navy. Dennis gets it back to the 20-yard line, and that is where the midshipmen will start the offense after a 15-yard return. This was the only touchdown of the first half. It came after a long completion, Jordan to Ramsey, the quick pitch to Greg Ramsey, the 11-yard touchdown run, the block by Sam Platt just at the edge of your screen as Ramsey went in, and the extra point kick by Kaplan gave Florida State a 7-3 lead. Later, Tata cut it to 7-6 for Navy. That's where we stand right now. As Bob Leshinsky brings the midshipmen out to start the offense, they go with the tight end reverse. Carl Hendershot with the football. Hendershot gets about 4. It's a play they love to run with Kurt Gaynor, the great sophomore tight end from Albany, Georgia, but Gaynor is not playing so far today because of a hip pointer. Some more scores from up east. Massachusetts leading New Hampshire. And it will be second down 7 for Navy. There's a big one. Iowa State leading Colorado 17-10 at the half. Mike Sherlock, tailback with the ball, gets across the 25. It's a red balloon in the middle of the field. The official goes to get rid of that. He popped it. Got a little roar from the crowd. Arkansas has now gone on top of Texas A&M 13-7 at the half. Indiana giving Ohio State some trouble. On third down and 3, Sandy Jones is the split receiver to the top of his screen. Papa John is to the bottom. Picked off. Number 28 is Keith Jones. Hendershot tackles him, but Jones comes back across the 30 to the 28-yard line. Second turnover of the ball game for Navy. It sets Florida State up in excellent field position.
Leshinsky drops straight back, trying to go across, forced the ball in the middle. There were 2 people there, but Keith Jones came across and made the interception, really throwing into the coverage. Looked like Gary Henry was also there, but Keith Jones made the big play. Perfect timed interception. Here it is again. Across the middle. Watch, he's forcing the ball. Too many people around. Henry's there. And also, of course, Keith Jones makes the play.
On first down, Holmes Johnson has the football. The Navy defense has been very tough against the running game all day. Chuck Zingler came up from his cornerback position to stop up the play and hold Holmes Johnson to no gain. It will be second down 10 from the 28. Jordan is still in there at quarterback. He replaced Wally Woodham after Woodham threw 2 interceptions in the first half. Johnson now 11 carries for 33 yards in the game. Sam Platt is the wide receiver to the top of your screen. Unglaub to the bottom. Johnson has a hole, but it closes up quickly as he gets about 4 to the 24.
Statistically, Navy's made all the mistakes that they have been averaging the season. They've had their fill of mistakes. They came in the ball game. They're conservative. Don't make mistakes. They've made 2 that have cost them.
Greg Milo, number 49, made the stop on the play from his rover back position. And now it is 3rd down, 6 yards to go for a Seminole first down. They need to get it to the 18. Wide receivers are Unglaub and Platt. Jordan wants to throw to Lyles. He makes the juggling catch. Milo stops him well short of the first down. It will bring up a field goal situation. Davy Kaplan will come on to try to kick it for Florida State.
Here Jordan throws the number 2 receiver, Lyles, number 48. It's just a straight drop back. Then he hits the receiver, Lyles, the fullback, out of the backfield. Puts the pressure on the perimeters, the corner.
Milo made the big stop for Navy. Kaplan, number 1, on to kick the field goal. He is 5 of 10 on the season. Wally Woodham is in the hole. Kick is good. So the Seminoles have extended their lead to 10-6. After picking up the turnover, the big play is the interception by Keith Jones. 38-yard field goal by Kaplan. Florida State leads at 10-6 with 11:58 left in the 3rd, and we'll be back. Who hits the kickoffs for Florida State? There's Sandy Jones, wide receiver for Navy, deep to receive. Jones collides with Dwayne Dennis at the goal line. Dennis beats the football and gets out only to the 13. Michael Whiting, number 27, flying downfield to break the wedge. Here's another look.
There's a collision. Watch 48. Dennis really plow in. Number 89, Sandy Jones. He earned that one. Goes upfield.
Sometimes you get that kind of benefit if you kick the ball low, as Capice did on that kickoff, thereby not allowing the 2 receivers time enough to judge which man should make the play.
Or to communicate and say, you got it.
That's right. They spot the ball at the 14, where Navy starts the offense with Klein and Sherlock as the setbacks. Ron Simmons is the man who was riding the back of Sherlock. It's a loss of a yard. It will be 2nd down, 11. You look at Bob Lachinsky as he gets the play from number 35, Mike Chapon. George Welsh now using the wingbacks to shuttle in his plays. Papa John and Chapin are both to the same side, the bottom of your screen. 23 is Sherlock. And again, it was Ron Simmons who diagnosed the play, dropped Sherlock, and got the football for Florida State on a turnover. Mark Masick recovering the fumble.
But the play is Ron Simmons. I really think he's starting to take on the role of Hercules in that middle defensive line for the Seminoles. He's really turned the ball game around just by his defensive play.
You saw Masick, the big defensive tackle from Wyandotte, Michigan, who came up with the football on the fumble near the sidelines. Ron Simmons made the hit.
Simmons can do that. He's got a neck size of 19 inches. His biceps are 20 inches, thighs 27, and his waist is 32.
He's been lifting weights for 8 long years. Lyles pounding up the middle. On first down from just outside the 10. He gets about 4 to the 7-yard line. They can make a first down without scoring. We look at the fumble play again.
Watch number 50, Ron Simmons, just really put his arm around the running. Oh, he really gets on the running back. Mike Sherlock causes the fumble.
Ripped the ball loose as he wrestled Sherlock to the ground.
They ought to get him on a wrestling team.
In the first half, Simmons had 4 unassisted tackles and a fumble recovery. Now he has 2 more unassisted tackles and has caused a fumble. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Unglaub to the top of your screen, Platt to the bottom. Jimmy Jordan gives to Holmes Johnson. Johnson is met and dropped as he gets just inside the 5. We will look again in slow motion at the Sherlock fumble, the big play by Simmons.
Sherlock, Ron Simmons just powers him. Now he's got the great speed, the 4.5 and the 40, and just really, they call that in Oklahoma bulldogging.
The ball came loose, and Masick, 67, fell on it.
That would scare the ball out of my hands to see Ron Simmons coming at me.
Third down. 3.5 yards to go for the first down, 4 yards for the touchdown. Jordan wants to throw. He's looking for Platt. He's got it. Touchdown.
He put the move on him. Chuck Zingler, number 36, was covering man on man. Platt put it on him.
Jimmy Jordan showed a lot of confidence. He threw before Platt completed the move.
That's why he's in the football game right now.
So Sam Platt with the 4-yard touchdown catch for FSU. And the Seminoles have come out, created 2 early turnovers deep in Navy territory. They got the field goal from Kaplan. Now they get the touchdown pass, Jordan to Platt. And Kaplan's extra point stretches the lead to Florida State 17, Navy 6. The midshipmen are up against it. We'll be back. The kickoff is taken by Dwayne Dennis. That is one, and again, Dennis is unable to get out to the 20-yard line. A 15-yard return. He's dropped at the 16 by Carlton Jones, reserve defensive end. And we look again at the touchdown.
2 things make the play work. 1, the timing of the quarterback, Jimmy Jordan, the fake inside, the pass timing, throwing before the break is made. Sam Platt, 29, really put Chuck Zingler in a peculiar situation. Just made a move on the out route, looked inside, went out, left Mr. Zingler 5 yards behind him for the touchdown.
Turned him all the way around.
All the way.
First down from the 16. Lezinski wants to strike back. Looking down the middle, overthrows Papa John. Keith Jones almost had his second interception of the ball game. That could have been a crippling blow for Navy, a team which is not used to making offensive mistakes. They've made 2 big ones early in the second half here. That was almost the third.
And back to what we said in the pregame, the defensive line, the offensive line. Who's winning the battle now? Ron Simmons is making his presence known, putting the pressure on the quarterback, causing the mistakes.
Ron Simmons early in the season was not playing the kind of football he played a year ago. He put on 16 pounds since last year. Heavy in that weight room, lifting weights. But he didn't have the quickness. Now he's starting to play better. Number 38 is Chris Klein, fumbles the football.
I think they ruled it dead.
I'm going to say that the ball was dead before it popped loose. Number 54, who thought he had it, is Arthur Scott. Sophomore defensive tackle from Tampa.
The ball popped loose late. So it's down, and they still have possession.
Navy is playing nervously on offense right now. Florida State defense has rattled them. On third down, Lezinski has no opportunity to do anything. Willie Jones was in there. As we look again at the fumble.
There again's the fumble. He goes to the ground, and there the ball pops loose. Late.
The huge roar you hear in the background is for the FSU defense as they come off the field. Willie Jones, as I mentioned, was in there to help with the sack. Walter Carter was the man who got there first. It was an 8-yard loss. The result that Ohanian, who punted 5 times for a 42-yard average in the first half, was kicked from inside his end zone, but he gets away a beauty. Keith Jones falls for and makes the fair catch back at his 44-yard line. Not bad field position for the Seminoles. 37-yard kick by Ohanian. We've got 8 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Florida State has scored 10 quick points in this quarter, and they lead it. It's a good-looking shirt, isn't it, Davis?
I like that.
Flowers.
Enjoying this
flowers.
weather down here.
First down 10 for FSU. And Mark Lyles has the ball. Pickup of about 2. Homecoming day here at FSU. A huge and right now very happy crowd. Must be a capacity crowd. Stadium holds about 47,300, and I don't see an empty seat. Neither team has been extremely effective on the ground. In fact, the 2 top Navy running backs, Sherlock and Tolbert, have combined to pick up 10 yards in 11 carries against the FSU defense. Jordan throwing down the middle. Great catch by Unglau. What a pair of hands that young man has. fourth catch of the day for Unglaub. He had 3 for 58 yards in the first half.
And again, Jimmy, it's that deep route where he's cutting across the middle. He cuts inside a little bit, then all of a sudden, just straight across, inside, behind the linebackers. Unglaub, the great hands, came in the ball game with 10 receptions. Every time he'd catch it, 19.4 yards a gain.
20-yard pickup. Jimmy Jordan is now 6 of 11 for 107 yards and a touchdown. He's going to go back to it again. This time, he's looking for the tight end down the middle. Number 85 is Brady King in the ball game for the first time. Milo picked him up coming off the line of scrimmage and covered him. Jordan just threw it over the outstretched hands. Brady King has been bothered by a shoulder separation. That's why you saw Childers in there throughout most of the first half. Remember, toward the end of the ball game, we'll be picking Chevrolet offensive and defensive players of the game. $1,000 scholarship check in the name of each will go to the general scholarship fund of the school that each player plays for, and then on from there to some deserving student in the overall student body. Second down, 10. Jordan looking for Platt. He's open. Touchdown. In the absence of Jackie Flowers, that Florida State would not have a deep threat in the passing game. But Sam Platt comes off the line of scrimmage in a hurry, and he has given them the home run. Kaplan gets the kick past the on-rushing Charlie Myers, knocks it through. Florida State extends the lead to 24-6. Jimmy Jordan is throwing lightning right now.
He really is. He's doing exactly what he likes to do. Throw the football long. He's going to hit Sam Platt. Platt operating on Zingler, number 36, and Milo, 49. And he just puts the ball right on the money. Platt outruns them all, and he's there in the end zone. Touchdown.
Gorgeous pass from Jordan.
You know, it's amazing. And the quarterback that's doing all the action right now, he didn't start.
That man, Bobby Bowden, made the move midway in the second quarter after Wally Woodham threw 2 interceptions. He came with Jimmy Jordan, and Jordan has had the hot hands. For Platt, that was his 4th catch of the ball game, the 36-yard touchdown catch, giving him 75 yards worth of receptions.
And 2 touchdowns.
And 2 touchdowns. You're right. Unglaub has 4 catches for 76 yards. All in all, 5 different FSU receivers have caught the ball. Capice kicks it deep. Sandy Jones is going to run it back. Dwayne Dennis didn't have much success the last 2 times. Jones gets it near the 20. 27, Whiting was down there along with 91, Carlton Jones. A 20-yard run back for Sandy Jones. Very quickly, the statistics on Jimmy Jordan in the ball game now. 13 attempts, 7 completions, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Let's go, Big D!
Woodham, before he left, was 5 of 11 for 67. So they're already over 200 yards passing in the game against a Navy defense which had been giving up less than 100 yards through the air. And the Navy running game is finding tougher and tougher going against that Florida State front. That time it was Dwayne Dennis. Willie Jones wrapped him up.
Now, Jimmy, it's a little bit different. The patience, the things that we talked about Navy, they've got to really change that right now. They've got to go start throwing the football, get their composure back, get back together, and try to get something that can be successful and get them out of the hole. They've started from the 20, the 14, the 16, the 20. That's not good field position.
Lashinsky had nowhere to go. Number 21, Bobby Butler, the cornerback, was right on top of the pitch man. Lashinsky had to keep the football. He was wrapped up by Mossick and Scott Warren. 3rd down, 8 yards to go for Navy.
Third quarter battle is being won by the Seminoles in that defensive line.
If you can't block Simmons, you've got real trouble against FSU's defense, and so far this half, Navy has not been able to block Simmons. Dwayne Dennis slips down. Willie Jones turned him in, as did number 24, Mike Kincaid, who came up very strong against that running play from his corner positions. Navy, no first downs in the second half. Now 1 of 9 in the ball game. on third down conversions. And that is the reason that Mr. Ohanian is having a busy day.
Certainly is.
He's on to kick again. The junior from Golden, Colorado. Check it, senior from Golden, Colorado. Pretty good punter. They're going to miss him next year. Keith Jones back to receive for Florida State. As you look at number 90, Art Ohanian. Florida State almost blocked it. Ohanian went down, so did the flag. This will be a roughing the kicker penalty. It was 21, Bobby Butler, who comes flying in there. Florida State tries to block every kick, and he almost got it. But he flipped Ohanian around in the air, and that brought on what will be a roughing the kicker call.
That will help. That'll at least give them another chance and help them try to start things over. They have been frustrated back deep.
First penalty of the ball game against Florida State. Line of scrimmage was the 19, so this should move it to the 34. Well, he almost put it down on the 31. He got a little help from his friends and took it all the way out to the 34, and that will be the spot from which Navy has the football, first down. Along that defensive front right now for Florida State, 80 is Scott Warren, 76 is Walter Carter, 88 Willie Jones, 50 is Simmons, and 54 Arthur Scott. That is Sherlock with the ball. This time he's able to turn it upfield and get about 4 yards. Number 39, Reggie Herring, was there, so was Keith Jones, 28. Herring was the leading tackler for FSU in the first half.
Jimmy, one thing that is causing Navy to have problems on the wide sweep that they like to run so much, the defensive ends, Willie Jones, Richardson, and Warren, are turning the play inside, forcing to do something they don't want to do.
Sherlock gets a couple, pounding straight up the middle. And that will make it third down, 2.5 for the first down. Simmons, number 50, made the stop.
Let's watch Ron Simmons again. We've talked about him all day. Here, double team, sheds the offensive guard, and then takes on the lead blocker, then makes the tackle. We'll see that again, show you all that happens. A lot of people going at him, but he still makes the great play.
Now Navy has asked for a timeout, and let's take one more look at big Ron Simmons in the middle of the line. You saw him taking on no less than 3 blockers before helping to make the tackle on Sherlock.
Steve Kramer, the center, the right guard, 62 Feldman, will come at him right there, both of them. He sheds the right guard. He's standing up, keeping his face on the blocker, pushes off another, then makes the tackle on Sherlock.
So, the situation still 24-6 here, 3:56 to go in the third quarter. Let's go to Andrea Kirby in College Park, Maryland. Michigan will be matched against Ohio State here on ABC next week. Don't miss that game and its Rose Bowl implications. Third down, 2 yards to go for Navy at their 42-yard line. Lashinsky wants to pitch. Florida State seals that off and then stops Lashinsky along the line of scrimmage. David Hanks, number 49, was the first man who hit him. I think you'll see that number 50, Simmons, getting up from the bottom of the pile, too. And they'll bring on the chains to see if Lashinsky was able to negotiate the necessary 2 yards for the first down.
It's tough enough having Ron Simmons in the middle of the field causing you frustration and going both ways as they get the 1st and 10. Here again, Simmons. 2 blockers still on him. He sheds both of them, and he just keeps rolling, keeps his feet, and moves, has that lateral movement down the field. What makes him a great nose guard is the simple fact that when he gets up on his feet are behind him. His body, he's using his upper body as strength, keeping his feet clear, staying up, making the tackle.
He's 6 feet 4 inches tall, 236 pounds of muscle, a sophomore from Warner Robins, Georgia. Lashinsky throws complete down the middle to Carl Hendershot. And the junior tight end from Petaluma, California, has it inside the Florida State 40 for another Navy first down. Pickup of 16 yards on the play.
Lashinsky will be throwing to 83 Hendershot. Kind of a delayed route. He gets a good stick. Who made the tackle on him?
24, Mike Kincaid. Hardest hitter in the secondary back there for Florida
He hit him
State.
hard that time.
First and 10 now just inside the 40. That time it was Sherlock with the football. Reggie Herring dropped him after a pickup of 3 to the 36-yard line.
Ron Simmons, we've talked about, is having a great day from that nose guard position. A few weeks ago, I was in Miami, Florida, when Florida State played Miami. He won the defensive Chevrolet player of the game. He's top contender right now.
Second down, 6. Complete. Again, it's Hendershot. He's dropped near the Florida State 20. Navy starting to show some poise on offense now. Number 90, Edinburgh Richardson, a junior defensive end from Crystal River, made the stop, but not before Hendershot picked up another 19 yards for the midshipman.
Lashinsky this time puts pressure on the perimeters, rolls to his left, and will throw to Hendershot 83, sets up, and really Hendershot came from the backside across and under and just got his hands in the air and made the reception. Navy playing cool and yet moving the ball.
Deepest penetration in quite some time for the Middies. Trying to hit Hendershot over the middle. The man who was diving for the football in the end zone was number 40, Gary Henry, who was in there giving Keith Jones a breather at strong safety. Check it, he's in for Bonasorte at free safety. Simmons has just been brought to the sidelines. Looks as though he's shaken up a little bit. The replacement at middle guard should be 51, James Gilbert from Miami. It is. Screen pass. That is 38, Klein. And Chris Klein, the junior fullback from Levittown, Pennsylvania, is stopped by Bobby Butler inside the 15-yard line. They mark it right at the 15. It will be third down 4.
This is a good drive, Jimmy, because Navy, they got their break. They've mixed up their plays. They've run. They've thrown the ball inside, outside. That time the screen pass. And they're putting some pressure on Florida State.
Coming up next on NCAA College Football, live at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, immediately following this game, Southern Cal versus UCLA. Some of you in this area will be seeing Florida A&M Southern or Appalachian State Western Carolina. Lashinsky throwing to the corner. Incomplete, intended for Papa John. Good coverage by Bobby Butler. Now fourth down. Will George Welsh opt to send Tata and try to cut it to 24-9, or will they go for the first down?
I think with the explosiveness of Florida State, they've got to go for it.
They need touchdowns. They need Sandy Jones comes back in, so does Papa John. Lashinsky on the day, 8 of 16, 149 yards. They need to get the ball to the 11. Great poise by Lashinsky. Great catch by Hendershot, short of the first down. Florida State holds. The Seminoles will take over. The big story there, the pressure on Lashinsky.
The ability of that defensive line to control Florida State to control Navy. Lashinsky stood in there, though. Took all the pressure, didn't balk at it, went right after it.
Sometimes in desperation, you do what you have to do. He hung in, got rid of the football. They just didn't get enough yardage.
And another thing, they've got, Florida State's got a long ways to go. So it wasn't that much of a loss.
There's Jimmy Jordan, man of the hour for the Seminoles. The flag is down as he pitches to Greg Ramsey. Ramsey breaking tackles across the 20 near the 25-yard line. Tom Falk, the leading tackler for Navy from his linebacker position, made the stop. But illegal procedure will be marked off against Florida State. Coming up tonight, Battle of the Network Stars, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. Celebrities include a variety of stars from ABC, CBS, and NBC shows. Louis Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk. LeVar Burton of the Ron LaFleur Story. Robin Williams, an incredible talent from Mork and Mindy. Have you seen much of Robin Williams, Dave?
Nano. Y'all get us started on that.
Our producer, Doug Wilson, produced that show last year and had a lot of fun. There's Greg Ramsey, 32, keeping his balance. Open run now, across the 30 to the 32-yard line. started to say open field in front of him. Just at that time, he was brought down after the 22-yard gain. It was Reggie Trask, the junior defensive end from Gary, Indiana, who finally caught Ramsey from behind. But what a display of balance.
And probably the most significant running play that Florida State has had all afternoon.
24 seconds now, 22 remaining in the third quarter. Clock ticking down. Florida State starting to stay on the ground a little more. On first down, Ramsey is wrapped up in his own backfield. And as Ramsey is dropped, time will run out on the third quarter. So it will be second down 8 for Florida State from their own 34-yard line when we come back. The Seminoles leading in the football game 24-6. They had a big third quarter, a 17-point explosion, the big play. We begin the fourth quarter of play. Florida State leading Navy 24-6. Jimmy Jordan gets rid of the football. Ramsey makes the catch. Very short gain. Bart Nixon, defensive end, number 88, made the stop on Ramsey. It's a pickup of 2. It will be third down 6. Most of you will be in your living rooms Monday night, as live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football brings you the Miami Dolphins versus the Houston Oilers. Miami with an 8-3 record, tied with New England for first place in the AFC East, I should say. They have in Delvin Williams, the number 1 rusher in the AFC. Houston is coming on with Earl Campbell, their great Rookie of the Year candidate. On third down 6, Jordan throws complete over the middle to Bill Keck, and the big tight end from Newark, Ohio, gets it all the way out to midfield to pick up an FSU first down. Gain of 14 on the play.
All right, Jordan drops straight back. Bill Keck from the tight end position, delays, then a couple of counts, then moves upfield, makes the catch underneath the linebackers, and then with his good size, 6'2", 220, moves it upfield for more yardage.
Our local stations will get their break right after this play. Jordan wants to throw again. Deep to Platt, he's all alone. Touchdown. '51-yard touchdown pass. Third touchdown of the day for Sam Platt. Third touchdown pass by Jimmy Jordan. For whom Jordan took over at quarterback, Wally Woodham. There's Davey Kaplan, who will kick out of Wooden's hole to try to make it 31-6. Kick is up and good. And with 13:50 remaining in the third quarter, Jimmy Jordan continues to bomb away on Navy. It's 31. Ready to kick it off for FSU. Kicking from the right hash mark to Dwayne Dennis. Dennis takes it at his 4 and is blocked. The 16-yard line, number 64 is Jarvis Coursey.
Here's the touchdown play. Jimmy Jordan to Sam Platt, the 5th pass, 3rd touchdown pass. I can't tell whether it's man or zone, but he hit Sam Platt, and you can tell that Chuck Zingler, who has been pretty much ridiculed by Sam Platt, was about 10 yards behind him for the touchdown.
You got to have sympathy for Zingler. He has a tough job covering a very speedy receiver out there, and he's not getting enough help from his safety net.
There's the third quarter statistics. What's really starting to bear in mind, be an influence in this football game. Of course, FSU's passing, 281 yards, but the turnovers, 3 turnovers of Navy. Field position also has been another part of the game. Florida State's not got enough, had the ball as long as Navy, but they've been able to do something with it when they had it.
On first down from the 17-yard line, Wyszynski gives to Sherlock, and he gets it only to the 19. Now, this program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. There's Mike Sherlock, the Navy tailback who's had a tough day, playing in place of the injured Steve Callahan. That time, Sherlock gets across the 20 to about the 23. Keith Jones, strong safety man, came up to make the stop for the Seminoles. For Sherlock, 12 carries for 17 yards in the ball game. Florida State defense began to play very well in the second quarter against Virginia Tech a week ago, and they have sustained it throughout this afternoon's action. Sherlock again, he is dropped well short of the first down. Walter Carter, number 76, a junior tackle from Richmond, Virginia, hit him first. And again, Art Ohanian will come on to punt the ball away for Navy. Attendance today, nearly 46,000, 45,795. Just a few hundred short of capacity and the biggest home crowd of the year for the Seminoles of Florida State. Ohanian, one of the bright spots for Navy. He's punted well. Keith Jones, dragged down from behind. Good play by number 38, Chris Klein. 34-yard punt for Ohanian. And with 11:58 remaining in the ball game, FSU leading it 31-6. We'll be back. That showdown very important immediately following this. Southern Cal UCLA. On first down, Holmes Johnson carrying the football for Florida State. Seminoles moving from their 37-yard line. Johnson gets to the 39. It will be second down 8. As I mentioned earlier, some of the viewers in this area of the country will be seeing either Florida A&M versus Southern or Western Carolina versus Appalachian State instead of that Southern Cal UCLA game. Second and 8. Jimmy Jordan still at the controls for Florida State. The statue gives to Mark Lyles. This time it works. And Lyles goes to the 50-yard line and into Navy territory before Fred Reitzel made the stop for the midshipman.
There's Lyles. He goes like he's going to block, then reverse pivots like a basketball player, and then goes around and makes some yardage. Well, there's a little good block on the side. Makes some good yards on the backside.
Number 69, Mike Good, junior offensive guard from Sanford, Florida, the celery capital of the world. He's the man who came up with that big block.
Now, how'd you know that?
Yeah, I used to live down here.
Celery capital of the world.
On first down, Jordan is looking for Unglaub. And he almost had it. Just off Unglaub's hands near the goal line. Bob Wilson, number 14, a senior cornerback from Wheeling, West Virginia, was back there with him. They had pretty good coverage on Unglaub, but Jordan threw a perfect pass.
He really did, Jimmy, and from our perspective, it looked like he was about to throw it out of the stadium. I wish I could throw the ball that far. As you know, I can't.
I know.
I can't throw it that pretty either.
Next Friday and Saturday on ABC, 3 more big games. NCAA College Football Friday live at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Pitt versus Penn State. Then Saturday, 12:30, Michigan, Ohio State, 4 o'clock, Notre Dame, USC. Jordan throwing complete this time to the tight end, Bill Keck. And Keck is dropped at the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of only 3. It will be third down and 7. Greg Milo, junior roverback from Columbus, Ohio, whom you met way back in the pregame, made the stop for Navy. So this is another rough day for a very crippled Navy team, but it does not dim the luster of the great accomplishment that they began this season with. 7 straight wins. Flat over the middle. Almost broke a tackle and got away. As it is, he has another catch. A first down for Florida State. The ball all the way down to the 27-yard line.
Platt is just unbelievable. 9.8 speed. He's going to do a deep look-in pattern. He's working again on Ziegler, number 36, who's had Platt coming to his side most of the time. He misses the block, or misses the tackle, and then Reitzel makes the final stop.
Gives you an idea how Florida State is deep in receivers. Platt is a reserve, playing in place of Jackie Flowers, who's injured. Holmes Johnson, struggling for yardage, gets it near the 20.
Platt was a running back first part of spring practice, and then they moved him to split receiver. And I imagine Bobby Bowden is very pleased at his performance today as he starts and catching the football quite well.
He's only a sophomore. He's from Jacksonville, Florida, 5'11", 183 pounds. Had 12 catches coming into today's game, and he already has 6 catches today for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns. He is the intended receiver. No, he isn't. Touchdown pass is to number 85, Grady King, the junior tight end from Satellite Beach. He beat Fred Reitzel at the goal line.
There are so many stars in this ball game offensively for Florida State. Jimmy Jordan, I think, is one we've got to talk about. He did not start. He dropped straight back. He's going to hit 85, Grady King, who's working on Reitzel, and he drills it right where it's supposed to be. Jimmy Jordan has had an exceptional day, hasn't he?
Bobby Bowden calls him my fastball pitcher. Bring him on in relief just like Goose Gossett for the Yankees. Kaplan nails the extra point. Florida State has stretched the lead to 38-6. Jimmy Jordan is red hot. Capice kicks off for Florida State. John Ross takes it very deep in the end zone, wisely elects not to bring it out. And right now we're getting ready to look again at slow motion of the touchdown pass from Jimmy Jordan to Grady King.
Again, Jimmy Jordan, last year's Tangerine Bowl MVP, throwing to 86 Bill Keck across the middle. Bingo. Grady King, I'm sorry. Right across the middle. He came from left to right across the middle on the tight end, and so Reitzel had to pick him up.
Not surprising to learn that as you look at number 30, Kevin Tolbert, breaking out of the Navy backfield, and on the biggest running play gain of the day for the midshipman, Tolbert picks up 20 yards out to the 40-yard line, and a first down for Navy. It's not surprising here at pass-oriented Florida State, with their great history of passing and catching, that the record for touchdown passes in a game is 5, held by Tennessee, Kappelman, and Gary Huff, 3 of the great QBs who played here and went on to play in the National Football League or the American Football League. Completion from Lashinsky to number 89, Sandy Jones. And Jones, the senior wingback from Vallejo, California, is all the way down to the Florida State 21-yard line. Navy won't quit.
You wouldn't expect a Navy team to quit, as Lashinsky looks inside, then hits Sandy Jones down the right side, working one-on-one on 21, Bobby Butler, and made a great grab. The ball was bobbled a couple of times. Great concentration, tucks it away, big play for Navy, good field position again. Watch the ball bobbled. He's bobbling it, tosses it, goes down, catches it.
40-yard gain. Biggest play of the day for the midshipman. That time, Sandy Jones drops the quick hitch pass in his backfield. And it's an incompletion. It will be second down 10 from the Florida State 21. 77 Bott leaves. 65 Barker comes in at offensive tackles. Those are the 2 men that Welsh has used throughout most of the day to bring in the plays. Setbacks now are 30 Tolbert, the sophomore fullback from Hempstead, New York, and 42 Dave Walker. Plenty of time for Lashinsky. Now he's going to run. Got a good block. Gets inside the 10 all the way down to the 6-yard line. A 15-yard gain on the scramble by Bob Lashinsky. 62 Charles Ferguson, a freshman linebacker from Delray Beach, whom Bobby Bowden expects to play a great deal in the next few years, finally made the tackle. Watch Sandy Jones block.
Sandy Jones, when Lashinsky comes out of the backfield to run the football, makes the block that frees him. Bob does not like, Lashinsky does not like to run the football that much. He was forced out of it, but he did.
Walker in motion. Lashinsky cuts inside, loses the football, and Navy retains it, but loses yardage back to the 8. Number 30 was Kevin Tolbert, who got on top of the ball. Lashinsky on the day now, 10 for 18 for 188 yards. Not a bad day throwing the ball. Not a bad quarter for Jimmy Jordan. Again, nothing on the running play as Kevin Tolbert is stacked up.
Seminoles have been extremely tough on the inside. We've talked about it all afternoon, but that's where the war has been won. Stopping Navy, what they wanted to do, a running team, came in here, wanted to run, and had to establish it, and Ron Simmons and company have been able to pretty much turn them back and force them into the air.
This is the number 2 defense in the ball game now for FSU, with the exception of a few players. Bobby Butler still in there in a corner. Florida State is not deep in secondary men. They've got the number 2 defensive line out there. On 3rd and goal from the 7.5, Lazinski can't get rid of the football. By the time his arm went in motion to throw, he had already been stripped of the ball. Scott McLean, number 60, and Scott Warren, number 80, were in there for FSU, putting the pressure on him. They were the 2 defensive ends. There's Warren.
Watch his arm go forward, Jimmy. He's trying to throw the ball. He gets a lot of pressure, as you said, from the 2 ends, Richardson and McLean in the ball game. But his arm was going forward. That is an incomplete pass.
Navy now 2 of 13 on 3rd down conversions in the ball game. They just have not been able to do it in those key situations. 4th down from just outside the 7. They go for the touchdown. Setbacks are Tolbert and Walker. Wyszynski wants to throw. Almost. Intended receiver was Chapin in the end zone. No, check it. 85, not 35. That's Matt McLaughlin, who made a big catch earlier in the ball game, but he couldn't hold on that time. We've got 6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Florida State is wrapping up what is now a 38-6 lead. There's the situation as Jimmy Jordan starts the Florida State offense inside his own 10. He's still throwing. He's got Unglaub if he holds on, and he couldn't. Good defensive play over there on the corner by the man who was covering Unglaub. And that was number 14, Bobby Wilson. As you look at George Welsh, expectation before the ball game was that win or lose, Navy was probably going to receive a bid to the Holiday Bowl in San Diego to play the winner of the Western Athletic Conference Championship, most likely Brigham Young. Hard to say at this point whether or not that bid will be extended. We haven't heard anything here in the press box. This, of course, is the day on which bowl bids will be going out. Greg Ramsey, junior from Fort Lauderdale, who scored the first touchdown of the ball game for Florida State back in the 2nd quarter, carries the football across the 10 to the 12-yard line. Pickup of 5. It will be 3rd down 5 for the Seminoles now. Peach Bowl scouts and Hall of Fame Bowl scouts and some others are here to look at Florida State. Doubtless they have liked what they've seen.
They have been impressive.
Jordan throwing again. Flat. Dropped one. Well, everybody can make one mistake. Reisel was the man who was covering. That was a good throw, and Flat should have made the catch.
He's not dropped many.
On the basis of the day he's had, I doubt that Bobby Bowden is too worried. 4th down now, punting situation. Ron Stark, who had a big first half kicking the ball and has not had to kick it much in this half, comes on to punt. 5:25 remaining. Sandy Jones is back at his own 45 for Navy. He will come up and call for the fair catch and make it at the Florida State 48. This week on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, the Miami Dolphins, with their 8-3 record, tied for first place with New England in the AFC East. Delvin Williams, the number 1 rusher in the AFC, against Houston, 7-4 record, 2nd place in the AFC Central, pushing Pittsburgh. Last year's Heisman Trophy winner Earl Campbell is currently number 2 in rushing in the AFC. So you'll see the top 2 runners in that conference and 2 very good football teams on Monday night. Bobby Powers in the game now at quarterback for Navy. Wants to throw. Got away from Ferguson and now manages to get downfield to about the 40-yard line before 54 Arthur Scott dragged him down. Pickup of 9 yards on the scramble by Powers. It'll be 2nd down and a yard for Navy.
Navy's got a lot to look forward to, though. They've got Army coming up later on this season, the biggie.
In a game that will be seen over most of these ABC stations. 42 is Dave Walker. And Walker gets the football inside the 35. to about the 33. It's a first down for the midshipmen. Continuing to work against what is mostly a number 2 Florida State defense. Not too many starters still in the ball game for the Seminoles on defense. Powers was keeping the football all the way. He was met by Ferguson. Bobby Bowden likes his linebackers quick, not necessarily big. Reggie Harrington's only 200 pounds and Hanks is only 210. They're the starters. Ferguson weighs 199 and Keith Baker 185. They are both freshmen, and they are the 2 backup linebackers. As we've mentioned before, 19 of 22 starters will be back next year for FSU. Only 5 seniors on the roster. On 2nd and 8, Powers fakes for Walker, throws deep for Sandy Jones, and the interception is made in the end zone by Hector Gray, the junior defensive back from Miami, who had a bead on the football all the way. So Florida State will take over at their 20-yard line. We'll see if Jordan will remain in the ballgame at quarterback. He does. First down, Jordan still throwing. Over the middle, number 84 is Sam Childers. Freshman tight end from here in Tallahassee who played most of the first half, and you can see exactly how Childers feels about not having held on to that pass. Whiting now in the ball game at tailback, 27. 30, Keith Kennedy also in the ball game as a running back, as a lot of number 2s are playing offense now for Florida State. Number 3s in this case. Movement along the offensive line. Flag goes down. Running play with Kennedy on the football, got a yard. And the official will signify a legal procedure against Florida State. 3:29 remaining. This is the 3rd time this year that the Seminoles of Florida State have scored as many as 38 points. They had a great offense a year ago, and offensive coordinator George Hafner told us yesterday this year's offense was better, more efficient, made fewer mistakes. It is 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Jimmy Jordan throws the quick look in, complete to Grady King, and King, the tight end, is across the 35 to the 37-yard line before Bobby Wilson brings him down. A 17-yard gain, another first down for the Seminoles. You might think that Wally Woodham would feel badly having been lifted and replaced by Jordan and having watched Jordan have a great performance, but that is not the case. The two are fraternity brothers, close friends, went to the same high school together here in Tallahassee, and they honestly do root for each other to do well. Bill Keck, the tight end, was the intended receiver on that play. Pass went incomplete. Good play by Chuck Zingler, number 36, junior cornerback from Medford Lakes, New Jersey, who came into this ball game with 4 interceptions and had a little difficulty against Sam Platt.
Quarterback situation, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. Jimmy Jordan has been warm this afternoon.
14 of 25, 264 yards, 4 touchdowns in the ball game. He's still throwing. Well, that time Childers just didn't look around in time. Pass was right there.
I know what's happening. Those receivers are just tired of going out. They've been throwing the ball so much today. They've dropped several that he's had right in the hand. They're just tired. They're worn out.
In the last 2 series, Platt has dropped 1 and Childers has dropped 2. Jimmy's statistics, which are sensational, should be even better than they are.
You know, it's amazing to look at Jordan, you know, throwing the ball 25 times, completing 14 for 264, 4 TDs, 8 touchdowns is what I threw my senior year.
Michael Whiting with the football on the reverse, and that time Navy smelled it and stopped him short of first down yardage. So on 4th down, 10, Ron Stark will come on to punt for Florida State. There are 2 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the football game with the clock ticking.
You ever thought what we say sometimes? You said he smelled it. What did it smell like?
Smelled the play? I don't know. About to smell like a reverse. I don't know, Davis. You played football. What do they smell like?
I don't know.
Sandy Jones deep to receive for Navy as Stark goes back to kick it for Florida State. You're right. It's a silly thing to say. And Jones will make the fair catch at his 27-yard line. So it is first down for Navy at their 27-yard line. And right now, let's take care of a piece of business, Davis. Chevrolet offensive and defensive players of the game. The Chevrolet Defensive Player of the Game award is going to go to the man who changed the tempo of this football game early in the second half with his play in the middle of the Florida State defensive line. It's not a new honor for him. He won it before, earlier this year, when Florida State played Miami on TV. And he is number 50, Ron Simmons, the nose guard of FSU. He's not in there right now as the number 2 Florida State defenders wrap up Bobby Powers on the attempted option play. Powers loses a couple. It'll be second down Navy from the 25. So the Chevy Defensive Player of the game is Ron Simmons of Florida State. You agree with that, Davis?
It's definitely true, because his ability to put pressure on the running game of Navy, his ability to go up down the line, and we've said his name so many times this afternoon, a great player, and I saw him earlier in the year, and he's got a bright, bright future ahead of him in collegiate football.
After this play, the offensive player of the game. Second down 12. 42, Walker with the football. Dropped in his backfield. 62, Charles Ferguson, has made several tackles since he's been in there. The offensive players of the game, we're going to choose the passing combination of Jordan to Platt. The two are virtually inseparable today in terms of their effect on the football game. The 3 touchdown passes from Jimmy Jordan to Sam Platt provided the big explosion that propelled Florida State toward this victory over Navy. There's Simmons. He was the Chevrolet Defensive Player of the game. And Powers overthrows Matt McLaughlin well downfield. So now it will be 4th down. There is Platt. There along with Simmons. Platt, one of the 2 offensive players of the game we've chosen, as we give the award to the passing combination of Jimmy Jordan to Sam Platt.
Been a fun game.
I like to watch the team throw the football.
Navy's got to be happy, though. They've had a great season. It's not over. They're going to go somewhere and play in a bowl.
Well, they got their own little bowl game against Army first. Gary Henry deep to receive as Ohanian hits the punt for Navy, and Henry's just going to watch it as it gets a Navy roll down to the Florida State 31-yard line. A happy homecoming day for Florida State for the 13th time in the last 16 years. Florida State has won their homecoming game. There are 45 seconds remaining in the football game. That was a 45-yard punt for Ohanian, and Jimmy Jordan is still on the field as the Florida State quarterback. He gets a hand from the remaining crowd here in Doak Campbell Stadium as he goes out there. Some say he looks like Huckleberry Finn. Give on first down to Ernie Sims, sophomore from Tampa, and Sims has a pickup of about 7. Tom Paulk made the stop. I want to take this opportunity to thank my statistician Bill Werndell, a spotter Steve Bazika, who will be going from here to Houston for the Monday night game, Florida State Highway Patrolman Tommy Owens, who's been our escort around here this week and who takes Jimmy Jordan out once a week because Jimmy is a criminology student here at Florida State. Number 82 with the catch is Lawrence Strange, and Strange in the ball game is a wide receiver. Goes into Navy territory at the 46 as Jordan pads his statistics just a little bit. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, clock running. There will be nothing else. Florida State has wrapped up a 38-6 victory over Navy. You look at Bobby Bowden going across the field. We'll be